What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 Old World AI only battle. We continue with the action. It's going well. I think everyone's enjoying it. There's a lot of good feedback, so that's good. And we continue, of course, with two huge wars going on that could well determine who wins this game. Rome versus Portugal continuing, and this could be a big episode for Portugal if they're going to defend their main territories. I think they could see themselves start to get a bit surrounded if they're not careful. And of course, out in the east, Russia fading hopes of taking anything off Mongolia, which is, I don't know what I expected, because Mongolia, I think they were definitely maybe a bit underrated, but they've put on a defense here. I mean, they've not even used these units, they're just defending with ease pretty much. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. And now it looks like Russia is actually going to try and defend this city almost. That's how they're set up with the units surrounding it, so we'll see how this goes. Of course, Mongolia does have some advantages, good air force, which Russia does not have at all, so that certainly helps. But we'll see. I'm sure these battles, and as some civs get weaker, we looked at the info addicts at the end of last episode, and of course Russia and Mongolia had fallen to like 9th and 10th in militaries in the world, so someone like a Korea will probably take note of that. Although I say that, Korea is literally nothing. They are not scared of Mongolia, are they? They are, looks like I don't know what they're doing. They're just focusing on naval strength and a few really strong units. I know they have a giant death robot lurking around somewhere. Where is all your... Oh, it's okay. It's all in Southeast Asia. Hopefully they won't betray India. That'd be pretty mean, but we'll see. Wallachia v Byzantium, they are both down to one city, but they go again, and this time I feel like Wallachia might have enough, but who knows, they have some artillery. We'll see. It would be a real shame if Wallachia took this now, having lost their northern city to Finland in a peace deal. That would be a bit sad, as Rome is closing in then on Coimbra. It will be difficult to hold initially, because Portugal will just keep coming back with boats, and Rome will be defending it with land units. We see this many times. But we'll also keep an eye down here. We've got Rome now landing in southern Iberia. Rocket artillery here. Start to put pressure on Braga in the south. And that, yeah, and then there's also a road here which leads straight to Porto and then to Lisbon. So this could get messy. The New World, it's not really much happening. Portugal and the Zulu, few units fighting each other, but no cities under threat just yet. And all the while, other civs getting stronger. Particularly, I really want to know how well the French will do by the end. And there it is, Coimbra falling into Roman control. That is southern France now, all Rome. And they now have a city, well, they have Marrakesh already, but another one on the Atlantic coast of Europe for now. Or first on the Europe coast to the Atlantic. But there we go, that's Rome making good moves. A bit of a comeback. They were sort of lagging a bit. They'll soon probably catch Korea in tech, because Korea will be maxed out probably a while ago. So that advantage will fade as well. So Korea's got to do something. I'm essentially going to jeopardize my own pick by letting the game run for longer and longer and not doing the results. But there you go. What can you do? Entertainment. The things I do for entertainment. I mean, if you picked Korea with me, you knew they were cursed from the start, so that... You already took one gamble. you can afford another one. What's going on down here? Not too much. The Zulu's still sort of integrating this Burundi city. Ethiopia still not quite feeling it. I feel like they might just reach out. I'm sure India would team up with you against Harappa, and I think that would be a pretty quick win. You could see Ethiopia getting these two cities. India could end up with way more as well. That would be pretty awesome. I don't think we'll see it, but it would be cool if they did team up. Any other settlers heading across at the moment? No. Mali, it's got a cargo ship, but that's about it. Going to the New World. Germany doing some inter-New World trading, which is pretty cool. Korea have a nuclear sub just circling around, keeping an eye on everyone. They also have fighters here in the North Atlantic. They have marines on this island. They have nuclear missiles in the South Atlantic. They're certainly keeping an eye on the world, just patrolling it with their military all over the place. Congo does have a settler. There is still space, particularly in North America up here. But yeah, there is still space. Ethiopia, they have a city here. Have all the wonders gone? The Grand Mesa here has just not quite been taken. And neither's Old Faithful, actually. They're both still there. Rome continuing to fight back and forwards here for Coimbra. It's down to 2 population. And this is looking pretty intense now. Looks like Portugal have realised the severity of the situation and are throwing everything at it. Now, finally, took them a while. And yeah, here Mongolia continuing to just put up that defense. Keep Russia out. Wallachia not having much success. They do have open borders with the Ottomans, but the Ottomans kind of have too many units in the way for that to really be of any use. How are you doing? Congo colony city here. Got some truffles, some bananas. Pretty good. Coimbra falls again. Some local trading by India. There are some big cities. India's got a 19 here, and we saw they have a 21 here as well. So cities that were not there early on, and Ethiopia and the Ottomans also with 2 settlers each heading across, although the Ottoman one is clinging on for dear life. I don't know if Finland is attacking that or who it is, but hopefully it survives and we could see some more cities in this region, some more tension as well. The Ottomans with another settler as well. They probably just built those ages ago and now finally got open borders, so sending them out. But still, good on them for doing that. And here it is. This is the main battle, I think. This is, as much as the Russia-Mongolia one is cool, I don't see Russia winning, especially if they're not going to commit everything. You can't half throw your troops at Mongolia and expect to win, because they are going to defend for their lives because they've got nothing else to do. And yeah, you can see that's kind of working. Mongolia not really been challenged at all. I guess the front line's been a bit pillaged, those couple of tiles, but apart from that, you know, Gwangju, Poznan, Turfan, those cities haven't been under any real threat at all. Mongolia's just doing the job. And yeah, man, there is no real career threat, so while that remains the case, Mongolia can keep this up, keep draining Russia's units and ruining their game from now on. So maybe this was a mistake from Russia. Should they have gone west instead? I mean, you have to think any of these would have been easier if they actually went for it properly. But who knows? Rome, maybe overextending. We'd hope not. It's only Morocco here, who still have sort of filled everything with units again. But the Songhai joining in as well, so they should pick up most of the slack on that one, and Rome can kind of ignore it and maybe try and steal it, which I'm guessing is their plan. If Songhai give them a chance, they'll steal away Fez. England and Byzantium have reached a peace agreement, so that's the end of that one. Not that that was a major event of any sorts. Rome finally does not have planes, so I don't know what happened to that oil that was you know, the Moroccan oil. Maybe Morocco just kept it by the look of it, because I don't see any. I don't know, it's hard. There's a lot of units. There might be some battleships in there, but I don't see any planes for Rome, and I don't think Portugal has any either. So maybe there's some battleships lurking away, or maybe Morocco did just keep it all in Fez. But Rome does have 2 atomic bombs. I don't think they have used one yet, and it's always kind of difficult to use one in these games. You can see, I mean, if you used one on any of Portugal's cities, you would be at war with at least France, Germany or England, because they're all there. If you used it on Coimbra, you'd hit France, so it's not exactly, yeah, you couldn't use it on this city, I don't think, because that would probably will definitely damage these French units. Lisbon, you've got Germany and England, so yeah, it's not really an option, but it certainly might contribute to a favourable peace deal further down the line, having access to those 2 atomic bombs. But it would be bold if they were the first to use them. The Zulu also putting a bit of pressure on one of the main Portuguese South American cities, the one with El Dorado, Vila Nova de Gaia here. If they get this low enough and just walk in with an infantry, that would be brutal. And a good little steal of land for the Zulu, who could again emerge, you know, as a real candidate in the results here if they just keep going. I mean, the Congo's not really done anything for a while now. Nubia as well, kind of evened out. They're just not really doing too much. Of course, that can change very quickly, but as we saw, it just happens at random. Rome v Portugal. probably a prime example of that. And Byzantium holding on again for now, and this time it is Braga to fall for the first time in southern Iberia. And that will keep stretching Portugal. Now they've lost that as well. They'll probably lose Coimbra, maybe for the last time at some point in this episode, and then that will stay with Rome. And then, yeah, because now Rome will set their sights on Porto, and then Portugal will have to defend 3 cities at once and try and take them back, and it just gets harder and harder. And you just see that capitulation that we're so used to seeing in these games. They do well, and then it all just crumbles. Korea just staying out of this stuff. They are trading mostly with Portugal. I wasn't sure they'd go back to... don't think they're too friendly with what remains of Japan. I mean, they certainly have enough submarines here to suggest, nope, they want this at some point. The fighting continues. Russia is starting to reinforce a more mobile, a more sort of mechanized force as well. Mobile SAMs, rocket artillery moving in. Mali joins the war against Morocco, so Fez going to be under attack from both sides. And again, this will probably happen fairly quickly now, and then it's just about whoever gets it first. But it's good seeing these sort of medium to upper medium tier civs making a move. Is good. They need to do it. Like, whoever comes out of this might be a bit stronger and then might take the other one. That city is massive. I didn't even notice. 35 population down there. 27, 31. This is definitely the most, and 28 here. This is definitely the most dense part of the world in terms of population. And there's a 27 there as well, and a 25. This sort of, not a strip, but you know, this sort of path down through Africa. 21 there as well. It's very highly populated. Wow. Even down to here, it's still pretty big. Let's just have a look. That is the biggest at 35. Lisbon sits in third, or joint second, on 32. That could be under threat soon. Rome still fighting here. Bismarck, even Germany now has the Manhattan Project. They're not exactly bad either. I mean, they're not great, but they're not bad either. But yeah, I mean, like, they're not going to be easy. I don't think Poland could just take for granted that they would win it, which is why they've probably not declared that war. Same for Finland. England, yeah, that's not going to happen. And obviously Rome, it's kind of awkward. As powerful as they are, it's just kind of awkward how they have Hamburg, which is just like a mega luxury farm. Citrus, wine. There's so much wine here. Where is this in my Let's Play? I think I mentioned this before, but that's so unfair. There's like 1 luxury in all of Europe in my Let's Play, and there's like 10 there. Whatever. How is Morocco doing this? They are just the kings of defending. I know it went a bit wrong in the end, but look, they've not even taken a hit of damage yet. Their units, they are just maximising the value that they get out of every unit, aren't they? That's impressive. Did those Congo settlers arrive? I thought there was one. I don't see it. Did the Ottoman ones? They are still going. They are sort of here towards the top of the Indonesian islands. Maybe going for Hawaii. Braga falls to back to Portugal. Ethiopia have 1 settler here, and the other two, sorry, are a bit further down. So we'll see what islands end up getting taken as more and more of the land gets gobbled up. There's still space, but there's not much left. As it stands, Rome currently not in possession of either of these cities, and Porto still relatively safe. There's paratroopers in the distance and a rocket artillery which could hit the city, but for the most part, no significant siege. There we go. Mali start to put some pressure on Fez here. I think their problem is their infantry is a bit too close. I mean, the artillery is not as great anymore, especially not against a 130 defense, but they could probably be doing better if they repositioned that and, you know, took their time. Obviously the Songhai, I think, are just trying to use what they can. They are a bit further behind Mali on technology. Japan has denounced Germany. Okay. What is the upcoming session voting on? Let's have a look. Embargoment of Rome. Ooh, and the banning of sugar. A lot of resources getting banned. But yeah, for Rome, that'll be a hit. They were one of the biggest economies, as you'd expect. And they'll lose a lot. What, that's going to be like 10 cargo ships. Say they average about 30 gold per turn. That's like 300 gold per turn. Could limit the amount of units they can field. or just how well they perform in general in these final turns. It's not really going to matter if they get rebels and their production is so high that units being deleted isn't probably going to affect them, because they'll just rebuild them. We're at that stage where it is just production means everything for some of these top civs, and then being smart as well, but obviously both. Braga falling back to Rome, and Coimbra is right on the edge as well. Just wonder when they hold on to one of these cities and move on to the next siege. That's always a big moment, but Portugal has plenty of ships here, and Rome can only sort of put out one at a time to defend, and that's not going too well. You wouldn't want to be on this ship right now, and certainly you wouldn't want to be these anti-air guns with these Portuguese ships bearing down on you. Not the place you want to be. Oh, there's the Congo settler. I can see it now, just off the coast of Brazil. Zulu's still moving stuff around, but it's not quite working. They're not really fully committed to this, but it would be, I mean, it would be pretty good if they took Portugal. You'd have to imagine. But we'll see what Rome's turn is like. Is Byzantium? No, yeah, Wallachia. I thought some artillery might get the job done, and it probably would again. If they put all 5 of these units like along the coast and round down here, they'd be okay. They're almost in an issue where Byzantium's so weak they can't really kill all these units, which means the artillery can't move in. It's a weird one where you'd want your own units to die, but that's yeah, that they could probably do with it. Congo versus Persia, no, not really of significance here. Mongolia is starting to just move in, just take some territory, take some liberties, push forward a bit. Yeah, they might end up getting Hajia here if they get this right. Obviously Russia is trying to defend it now, but Mongolia is starting to take some territory. Could they end up taking cities off of Russia? That would be crazy. I don't think they could get more than 2. Like, that is the best case scenario. I think this one is just so, that is really difficult to get. Mountains, a lake, that's so hard to get. And this one again, mountain, lake. But this one's open, and then, you know, if they get that one, I wouldn't rule out that they couldn't get that one. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this has been a disastrous one. It was so promising. They really burnt themselves out very quick, didn't they, Russia? They emerged, they took all these cities off the Huns and other people, and then they just gave up. It's not been their game. And again, you can see here, they are just about going to be fine, I think, to hold on to that. But there was a moment where it looked a bit rough. I know, I love this from Korea. I know we're best friends, India, but we're still going to put 2 mega death robots just on the border, just for border security. You know, we can't get too cozy. Germany and Mongolia piecing out, not the biggest one that we've seen. France has a couple of nukes now. Korea v Persia, I will say not important, but Korea's the sort of civ that could just turn up. Like, they'll get open borders, and in like 4 turns they'll just take this. But again, probably not super important. For Persia, we are looking for, I mean, even Babylon, Harappa, particularly Harappa, but Babylon could maybe take it. Russia, if they were at peace elsewhere, could maybe have a go. Finland now has put some nukes in the centre of Europe. We'll see how well that goes down. But I'm beginning to see a few more. France obviously has these 2. I wonder if would France go after England with them? Probably not. There's no real sign that they would. It's a very brave settler. Morocco still clinging on. Look, they've almost depleted Mali's units. What is going on? There is just some crazy battles going on around the map right now. Rome has lost Braga again. Portugal putting everything into this defense. These were still very high when we looked at the info edits at the end of last episode. We'll do it at the end of this one too, just to see, you know, are they still, are any of these 4 civs, the big ones that are at war, still up there, or any of them dropping off? Obviously just look for any noticeable build-ups of troops as well, because I think there was some crazy ones last time. Like, who was it? There was a civ that was like top 5 that I would not expect military wise. I can't remember who it was. It would have been one of these, I think, who would like snuck in. So we'll have a look at who it is. Oh, that got me excited. That I was so excited for something here. India v Wallachia definitely doesn't matter. Persia pieces out with India, and Germany So close, yet so far. Again, with Wallachia, not really going to matter. Poland, you have done nothing all game. Come on, give us something. There it is, Rome. Takes 2 cities in 1 turn. That's a bit of a... They're putting their foot down. They've been annoyed. Portugal's been holding on. Now the city of Porto is also coming under siege, so they're going to really try and stretch that defense and go for the kill here. And yeah, if they take Porto, that might be the writing on the wall for Portugal's cities in Iberia. Ethiopia and Mongolia piecing out. Mongolia also pieces out with Harappa. So again, less, not that those civs were threatening Mongolia, but in the AI's mind, that is all the more incentive to just keep going, because now you're less at risk. I mean, there's only one civ that can threaten Mongolia right now, and they don't seem, I mean, they've brought some units back, but they still don't seem as interested. Maybe they're starting to think about it, but doesn't seem like #1 priority. And look at this, Portugal retaking those cities again. They are not giving up. They are not going to lie down and let Rome have this territory. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's what we're here for. A huge battle between the two. Mali's turn. How are they getting on? Slowly but surely. Congo just entered the information era, which is pretty big. They still, oh, they now have a couple of atomic, yeah, a few nukes floating around, which again could give them. Nubia has them too, though. I don't think we've ever seen this many different civs with nukes. Okay, that's huge. They do not border each other anywhere, but that is just interesting to say the least. Rome versus Russia. I mean, we've never seen the big three, or earlier part of the game, big three. I'm not even sure they are the big three anymore, but certainly at the start of the game, like, I think Russia is worse than Congo. Like, I know that might annoy some people who picked Russia to win. So, but you know, I think Congo is better than them. Like, that's straight up. They have better units. They have the equal tech, better air force, nukes. Like, yeah, they have a navy. Like, they are better. Like, sorry, more population potentially now. I know Russia had the most for a long time. I'm not gonna. Well, we can look. No, Russia still has the most, but it seems like they have more. But yeah, Russia's fallen off. They are now only leading population. Even France has taken the leading crop yield, so they could overtake in population soon. But yeah, this is interesting. I don't know what's sort of caused this. I'm gonna hit next turn anyway. But Harappa and Rome, clearly not afraid of Russia. That much is clear. And that puts more pressure on Russia. They will have to think about a peace deal maybe. Again, not that they are under threat, but we know how the AI thinks. We've seen them give away cities in peace deals for far less than being at war with Rome. So that's how Rome got so big. Don't forget, at the start of the game, they hardly conquered many of these cities. This one, Campulung, Hamburg, obviously not Carthage because that's a capital, but quite a few of them, Funchal. These were all just taken in peace deals. They didn't even really threaten them too much. They tried, but they didn't, you know, it wasn't like they were going to wipe the whole civ out if they didn't get the peace deal. They were pretty bad peace deals, so you have to fancy that Rome could, it wouldn't surprise me if Rome took a city off Russia. It wouldn't. And, oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. There's no open borders, but this city, of course, could be something to do at the centre of this. Rome might want this, so that would help against Nubia if that ever broke out. Byzantium is now starting to be sieged down a little bit. If Wallachia were to get this, would that make them a target for Rome too? We'll see, but that is interesting. Like I said, I don't think it will be a huge factor. I don't think they'll go head to head, but you can see Russia's looking a bit weaker. And I'll try. I'll depend what I'm feeling when I upload the episode. You're already watching it, so it doesn't matter if you've watched this far, of course, because you're probably going to watch anyway if you've watched this far. But whether I should use Russia v Rome as the clickbait title, even though it makes no sense. They're not going to really do much. But yeah, Finland, they're just... I think they've bottled it, Russia. I genuinely think they're not coming top 5 anymore. I think Rome is still growing, even though if they're struggling. Korea, Congo, France are probably all above them. And I think depending on, we're not going to look at the info addicts right now or spoil it or anything, but there's arguments for civs like India being better than them. Like, I'm being serious. And the Zulu, I've completely forgot about them. Like, they're definitely better, surely. So yeah, maybe they're not the heavy hitter that we thought they were. I mean, even civs like Ethiopia and Nubia are probably just as capable at this point. I mean, Mongolia. I'll stop. This is getting unfair. But France just entered the information era as they continue to grow. All these cities getting close to double digits or in double digits. They have some bigger ones around the Caribbean. This is looking great for France. But yeah, as we just hit the end of this turn, we will have a look, just see how the 4 big militaries that are in these wars are doing. And we'll keep an eye. Fez probably this turn might be it for them, sadly, because Mali hasn't been yet. Constantinople may have a few more turns left, but that'll be both Byzantium and Morocco eliminated in the next few turns if they were to fall. And here we go, Rome's turn. How will they end this episode? With neither city under their control, and Portugal, it looks like they've called on all the units from South America to come help or something. There it is, the Songhai do beat Mali to capturing Fez, which seems fair. They attacked it first, and Mali had more than enough of the chance. Mali was trying to take Fez when Rome and Portugal were helping them, so you know, it's fair enough. And Byzantium will actually survive, as Wallachia decides, no, we don't want to continue with this. So that's the end of that one. Peace in that region of the world. Portugal's turn. I don't think they'll take anything back, but yeah, you can see Marrakesh starting to recover. Casablanca's now fully, I think Rome had that already actually, but there we go. Finland's turn. Would we get a huge war this turn, just as a little bit of a cliffhanger? I don't think so, but it would be quite impressive. Be good timing if someone just declared war now. Look how many planes. Oh, they just moved them all. They had 9 in this city. They still have an atomic bomb in Greece. They have 2 in North Africa, 1 in the Panama Canal, the Suez Canal. Congo has some here as well. These 2 could wipe each other off the face of the map at any point. I feel Congo and Nubia feel like they almost have to work together, or it is just, there's so many big cities as well. This could be a disaster. It would be an exciting disaster, as it's a Civ game, but it would be interesting to say the least. Rome, they're just keeping these. I feel like Portugal's calling their bluff a bit. They're just like, yeah, you're not going to use those. Right, let me just save again. I know it worked fine last time, but I'm still a bit worried. So let's just. It just like saves me 5 turns of awkward catching up if it breaks. Didn't break anyway, so that's fine. Military manpower. Rome still actually leads the way at 908k. But this is way more balanced. We are used to having games where one civ will have like 2 mil, then a few will have 1 mil, and then there'll be just lower numbers. There is over 12 civs there with over 500,000 troops. Russia at the bottom there at 511. Poland actually outnumbers Russia right now. I mean, it would be bold, but if Russia's committing to that Mongolian front, Poland could probably go for it, and then Mongolia would come in as well, would do better, because Russia would have to pull units away. That would be interesting. Finland as well, also not quite on the same border, but could annoy Russia, and they have more troops, 629,000. No wonder there's no wars going on in Eastern Europe. Harappa in 9th, the Zulu only 8th, Ethiopia's above them, Congo's then above them, then India sits 5th, Nubia 4th, 3rd is France. It is so close. Look at that, there is 5 civs, is that right? 6 civs between 700 and 800k. Korea at the top of that at 773, France just behind them, Nubia, India, Congo and Ethiopia all, you know, a few units apart really. That's probably all that is, so this is crazy. Germany's only 100k off Russia. Oh my goodness. Mongolia's getting a bit lower, 396,000, but okay, it still looks like a lot on the map, so I think they'll be fine. But there we go, that'll be it for this episode. This overran quite a bit. I'm going to try and do 25-minute episodes, but then it still overran, but that's fine. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.